camino. Llévame con tus alas de amor. Condorcito, tráenos medicina del cielo. Ilumina mi interior. Volando me enseña el camino. Cura, 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 me sana todo lo que yo llevo. Agradezco por mi vida, Pachamama, yo te amo. Cura, 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 me sana todo lo que yo llevo. Agradezco por mi vida, Pachamama, yo te amo. Vuela con el viento, vuela con el viento. Con el viento.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to this webinar on waking the wild medicine, or medicina, if we're going to say it in the language of the song that was just playing.
Jonathan, I don't, it's just me. I can't hear you. Is that, can anyone put their hand up if they can't hear Jonathan that well? Oh, yeah, it's not me, Jonathan. Your volume's super quiet.
Let me have a look at that. Is that improving?
No, not for me.
Looks like
can hear that.
Fine, my end. Yeah, everything my end test-wise is coming there.
It's suddenly growing louder now.
Okay. So, yeah, apologies for a little technical gremlin there. Hopefully that will be the last of that one. I was just saying welcome, everybody. This is really special for us, this webinar and what it represents for both myself and Lian and our work. So, yeah, without further ado, I will hand over to Lian to get this show on the road. Now you're muted, Lian.
Really professional today. You won't believe we do this on a regular basis. Oh my goodness. Welcome. And when I say welcome, I really do mean all of you are welcome and all parts of you are welcome. And we always make that very specific and deep level of welcome because we see it's so important that you're able to show up fully, all parts of you, and they include the scared parts of you. They're welcome. They include the curious parts of you, wondering, what's this about? They're welcome. The parts of you that might just be feeling a little bit sleepy, a bit Friday morning-ish, they're welcome. And we also welcome the parts of you that just don't want to be here. There's usually those parts too. So every last part of you is welcome here. So I think most people here know us to an extent. I mean, the very fact you're here, you must know us a bit. But just for those of us that perhaps a little bit newer to Jonathan and our work, I just want to share a little tiny bit of history about us. We've spent the last 6 years working in various ways with people, and that includes group programs, one-to-one, in-person, all kinds of things, ultimately returning them to be the gift that they came here to be. And this particular topic, this particular work of Waking the Wild Medicine is really the like absolute jewel in our crown. That's the work that we have come here to do. We've spent the last 6 years getting to the point where we really are embodying and expressing our soul work, which absolutely includes, in fact, I'd say, the real deepest part of that is helping others to do that too. And I say we spent the last 6 years getting to this point. Really, we've spent a lifetime getting to this point. And we're going to be sharing some of the ways that our journey has been experienced, but we also notice these are commonalities that people like us have also experienced. So we'll be sharing a bit about that in a moment. But we, again, could not be more delighted to be doing this work now. It really has. Oh my gosh, like this week's been so emotional. Every time we go to talk about it, I get overcome, just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing to finally be able to do this. So I expect there'll be some tears, but I really do appreciate you joining us for this. It's going to be something very special, and I'm hoping we'll talk directly to your souls. So no pressure on us there. It's also really, really important that you feel really safe and comfortable and welcome here. So first and foremost, wherever you are, I mean, if you're walking around, I'm not going to say go and sit down, it's fine, Lian. But if you're in a position where you're kind of sitting down, just or laying down like Carolina, just make yourself even more comfortable. Just take a moment if you want to adjust your position or get a blanket or close a window, close the door. This is a time to do that. Like, really want you to feel as safe and comfortable and as relaxed as possible. The other thing I'm going to suggest is you put yourself into gallery view. It's up the top there, so you can toggle between speaker view and gallery view. We really, with all our work, want to create the sense of us being here together in circle. So if you can toggle onto gallery view, you'll be able to see all the beautiful faces, all the souls speaking through the eyes here. So just toggle onto gallery view if you haven't already. Then I'll just share a little bit about what we're going to be doing here together today. In a moment, Jonathan's going to guide us into our bodies and he'll explain why that's important in a moment. We'll then spend some time co-creating our intentions for this time together. Really, anything that Jonathan and I do, we include intention as a really important part of that. So we'll all have the opportunity to create those intentions. Then we'll be talking about the, I guess, why, what, and how, or maybe who, why, and how, I don't know, of being your wild medicine. We're going to talk a little bit about how we could support you on that journey. And then we'll have some time for questions. We really know that having that opportunity to ask kind of real world, real time questions, talk about specific examples is really helpful. So we're going to make sure we have time to do that. And I think that's pretty much everything. As ever, we'll kind of make sure we're including lots of just gorgeous sort of soul touching things in that, including ending with a reading. So if you've worked with us in any way, shape or form, you'll have all the things that you're going to love when you join something like this. So now over to Jonathan to guide us into our bodies, hearts and souls.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't been on one of these calls with us before, we're going to take a few minutes to drop into our body, to come home to this incredible gift that is our body, the instrument that we get to play this game of life with. Much of what we're going to be talking about is language for the soul. And the more embodied we are, the more connected we are to our soul. By becoming more embodied, by getting into a more natural and wild state, we can be more conscious and connect with our soul and be able to discern between whether something is aligned for us or not. Okay, now I invite you to close your eyes. And start to feel yourself coming home to your body, to this incredible gift that is your body, to this space you find yourself in, to this space we are co-creating together. Feel your body. Feel the weight of your body pressing down into your seat or any surface that you are laid on. Feel that surface underneath you. Feel how it holds you. Feel the coming together of your energy and the energy of the surface underneath you. And as you do, allow your breath to find a smooth, deep rhythm, like a wave, breathing in deeply through your nose and letting go through your nose. If you don't have a good connection with your breath, you don't have a good connection with your life, your existence. There is no embodiment without breath. So just take a moment to find the deep, smooth, innate rhythm of your breath. Now, feel in. Feel in and find the part of you that is never changing, that is infinite and unchanging. Feel the part of you that was there when you took your first breath in this body. Feel the part of you that was there when you felt the first look of disapproval from your parents. Feel the part of you that will be there when you take your final breath in this body. And feel the part of you that is here right now, in this very moment, witnessing the sound of my voice, witnessing you being witnessed. That is who you are. This is who you have always been. Beneath any beliefs, beneath any stories, beneath any conditioning or wounding. It is always there. You are always there, infinite and unchanging. And from that deepest part of you, allow your body to breathe a little deeper. Allow that part of you to witness each moment rising and falling. Be the witness. You are the witness. Unguarded, unkinked, unclenched, unbound by story, free. And now from that place, continuing to feel in, rooted in pure consciousness, allow your feeling body to press out into the space around you. If you can, feel the texture of the floor, the texture of the walls, anything that may be on the walls. spreading ever further and further outward, taking everything as your feeling body presses outwards, beyond your wall, any walls around that, and pressing out into the space around your home, your apartment, your dwelling. Taking in everything. Feel up as high as the clouds. Feel the moisture they hold. Feel down, as deep down into the earth as you can feel. Beneath the soil, down through the rock, and through any gases. Feel any heat that is there. And just allow yourself to recognize in this moment, you don't need anything. And now slowly coming back to your moment here in this space we have co-created, you can begin to open your eyes. And as you do so, take in this moment. Hold it softly, but take in this moment. These men and women, the depth in their eyes, their presence, their radiance, their consciousness, witnessing you, witnessing them, feeling you, feeling them. Feel the truth of their heart. Feel their medicine. Feel this container that we are co-creating together. Feel how it holds all of us. Feel how it holds you. All of you is welcome here. All of you.
Thank you. So I'm going to invite you now into creating an intention for the good of the group. I sometimes call it a prayer. If you're uncomfortable with the word prayer, you call it an intention, whatever feels good for you. So the intention is for those of us here together, each person will experience their own wild medicine. That's the intention. The people here will experience their own wild medicine. So if you place your hand on your heart and just beam out that intention, just beam it out to the people here together. The people here will experience their own wild medicine. So allow that to be beamed straight from your heart into the people sitting here. And make sure you receive that too. There needs to be receptivity, otherwise the intention is just bouncing around between us. So allow that in. Just oscillate between radiating that intention out and allowing it in. You will experience your own wild medicine. They will experience their own wild medicine. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Wonderful. So now your opportunity is to create your intention for this time together. And that could be something that you want to understand, something you want to see differently, something you want to take away from the call, a way that you'd like to show up. And if you share those in the chat, that would be wonderful. And again, don't worry about it being some kind of big, grand vision. Just, it could even be a word. It could be, a few words, a line. just something that summarizes what you would like to create during this time together. And if you can share it in the chat there, it's so powerful to just be able to actually make that expression of your intention, of your commitment even, and be witnessed in that. And Emma Corey's got my gold star. Understand, see differently, and show up. Wonderful, gorgeous. Thank you, Emma. All things always, yeah, woman after my own heart. As I always say, I love a woman with an appetite. Amanda, knowing me, beautiful, gorgeous. Kate, to feel a little close to believe I have my own wild medicine. Yeah, really feel you on that, Kate. And thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that. I suspect there's quite a few people that've got that same sense of like, do I even have it? Knowing, thanks, Joy. Ditto, Kate. Yeah, well, both the Kates are thinking alike there. Release blocks and fears. Yeah. The intention just expressed to experience my own wild medicine is just perfect. Thank you, Carolina. To understand what my medicine might be. Wonderful. Being brave enough to show up. Stroke me. Yeah, gorgeous. I'm already like just reading those. Like, I know you're our people and that's why you're here. Wonderful. If I think most people have already shared their intention. If you haven't, feel free to pop it in. We'll move on, but do feel free to pop it in there. It's really powerful again to be very intentional in our creation, whatever that is. It could be a call, it could be I don't know, a meeting, it could be whatever. So real power in doing that. Okay, I think, let me just check I've lost where I am. I think we're now handing back over to you, Jonathan, to talk about this. What is this? What is this gorgeous thing that we're talking about when we're saying wild medicine?
So, in an indigenous life way, when you were born, your gifts, your gold, your medicine was seen, felt, and understood by your tribe. It was nurtured and supported until it became fully actualized. And your medicine could be in the deep service that nature had intended. You had a deep sense of fulfillment, alignment, and purpose. You had a deep knowing of who you are, your gifts, and how to give those gifts in deep service. No matter what life threw at you, your knowing of who you are and what you're here to do was unshakable. And this is the way of the wild. This is how the system is designed to work and had worked very successfully since pretty much the dawn of time. However, fast forward to this crazy modern world we find ourselves in, and things are very, very different. We are born wild, yet we are born into a socialized and domesticated alien world, devoid of nature. One stripped bare of nature, of soul, of magic, of true meaning. The opposite of the wild, the opposite of a life way that's supportive of our growth and expansion into our medicine. No longer are we surrounded by elders, by primary caregivers who are wild and attuned to the subtle undulations of the ways of the wild, who are attuned to sense the gift that we are, who have the knowledge and the wisdom of how to support the human animal on the path of actualizing their deepest gifts. No longer are we in an environment that allows our soul to speak and guide us, that allows nature, the wild, the universe to speak to us and guide us. And if that wasn't already enough to stop us being our medicine As we grow through our formative years, we receive messages from our primary caregivers, those who are now disconnected from the ways of the wild, that our medicine, our truth is unwelcome, is unlovable, is too weird, is too much. So we innocently start to place our gold, our medicine in shadow. There's the deep primal need for love, acceptance, safety and survival ultimately is the biggest driver there is and trumps everything. We embark upon a life of playing small, of trying to follow the status quo, of playing safe, one of disapproval of our medicine, of who we are. And for some of us, we can receive just enough rewards and validation that we are acceptable and maybe just lovable enough, or enough of a carrot to keep us in the game, tethered to the hamster wheel of this modern world. Yet, for those with deep medicine, there will come a time when the rewards, the trappings of the modern world are just no longer enough. When we can no longer keep up the illusion and wear the many masks that we have so artfully created to fit in, to blend in, to align with the status quo. And yet when we get up in the morning, we feel anything from a slight tug at our shirt cuff to a punch in the gut. That is our soul letting us know that this is not the life we came here to live. This is not the medicine we came here to be. That we are out of alignment with our truth, with who we are. For those with deep medicine, they can be seen by the modern socialized world as misfits, the odd ones, the weird ones, the quirky ones, the ones who just can't seem to conform to playing the role that society has laid out for them. We're told that we are too sensitive, that we think too much, that we take life too seriously, or that we live in some dream world and need to get with the real world. Some of us have just enough social intelligence that we can pull the wool over the eyes of those around us with our perfectly created masks. We know precisely how not to get called out as a weird one, while others may not be so fortunate and have more blind spots when it comes to socially conforming and are left to the mercy of the modern world. When we close to our medicine, to our magic, we don't just close to ourselves, but we close to the magic of life, to the medicine of the universe. We close to the meaning of life. Life is magic. We are magic. This isn't a fantasy or some fairy tale that's depicted in a movie. It is true that you are magic, that the world is magic, and you can have the magical life that your heart and soul has ached and longed for your entire life. It is only when you break free from the status quo, from the socialized illusion, that we can experience our magic and the universe's magic. Yet to do so, we first need to make a commitment to be our magic, to be our medicine, and to summon the sovereign that is within us all, to take the aligned action needed to actualize our medicine. When it's the worst of times, it's the best of times. Even though we find ourselves in Arguably the most challenging time in the history of the human animal. There has never been as many souls waking up to the wild, waking up to the fact that they can't continue to dishonor the medicine they came here to be. This path isn't for everyone. The very fact that you are here on this webinar right now in this very moment is a good indication that your soul is calling you forward into your medicine. If this path is for you, if this path is what your soul is calling you forward to walk, then Lian is going to explore how you can walk that path of awakening your wild medicine.
I'm needing a few moments to gather myself. I knew I was going to be emotional. It's even more so than I imagined. Jonathan and I were talking about the material for this webinar yesterday. And as we did so, I just had tears in my eyes because I just knew that if I'd been on something like this, you know, pretty much at any point up until the last couple of years, it would have meant so much. It really would have meant so much to me. And even hearing Jonathan just talk then, it just hit me again. Wow. So, as Jonathan said, you know, the very fact you're here on this webinar, the very fact that you're here at this point, I suspect you're one of us. I suspect you're one of those with potent medicine. And so I'm guessing that, like me, you're probably thinking and feeling a lot. Maybe not as emotional as me. I'm going through a particularly emotional time at the moment. I seem to be crying at everything. And I'm not pregnant, by the way. But all I can say is whatever's going on for you, I was thinking back to how I would have felt listening to those words, you know, going back a few years. And I think I'd have felt a real mixture, you know, relief, hope, some fear for sure, maybe some anger for past experiences, some sadness, but also some gratitude to finally feel like, oh, this is me. He's speaking about me. So if you're feeling all of those things, or actually anything, just know that, oh my goodness, your feelings, all of your sensitivity, your huge, huge hearts and your deep souls are welcome here. Really are. And not only that, like, oh my goodness, they're needed in this world. Like, you are the medicine the world needs. And if you're starting to think, maybe it's too late for me, maybe this has come just a bit too late, I'm too old, it's too late to make changes, it really isn't. It's never too late to actualize your gifts. You're right on time. That's why you're here. I believe you're here right now for exactly that reason. George Eliot said, it's never too late to be what you might have been. And I really believe that. So let's have a look at how that medicine, that wild medicine, the gift that you are, can be embodied and expressed, how you can be your wild medicine. And with everything that we do, everything that's on this path of waking the wild, it's one of reclamation and actualization. So when we're talking about reclamation, we're talking about reclaiming your wild medicine, which is illuminating it, understanding what it is, and then walking the earth as that medicine. And then actualizing is sharing that medicine that you are with the world in a way that's deeply beneficial and medicinal to yourself and to others. And I'll also say that it's likely that that path, and even right now, might be driving up a lot of fear. all of us on this path are likely going to experience degrees of fear as we start to tread further from that beaten track, further from our loved ones' version of this is normal life, this is how we do life, further from the kind of person who fits into the square holes of this culture. So we really get that. Fear is expected and normal. So don't feel that because you're feeling that fear, it means anything other than this is your path, is part of the path. And that's really why we see us medicinal misfits need each other. We each of us are unique, but we share this same path into the wild. And the more kinship and guidance we have along this path, the less fear is going to stop us in our tracks, which is best for all of us. So for now, just know you're really not alone. We absolutely see you, we get you, and we are here for you as we take this next step on your path. So I'm going to invite you in a moment into a short practice, which will give you a sense of your medicine. Or if you've already got a sense of, I actually know my medicine, it will give you a deeper sense of it. And you might see a little, you might see a lot. I can never predict what's going to come up for people as I guide them through practices like this. But what I will say is whatever you experience, whatever you see is exactly what you need now. It's perfect. So don't feel this sense of it has to be some, huge vision or illumination. It might be just a little breadcrumb. And whatever that is, it'll be perfect. And more will be revealed to you as you walk more deeply onto this path. So what I will say is we've seen that our medicine tends to be revealed through an alchemy of what you felt you needed to hide as a child, what you felt ashamed of, what you were told wasn't welcome. And either that could be the trait itself or a different expressed version of it. And also what you loved doing as a child. Jung said, what did you do as a child that made the hours pass like minutes? Herein lies the key to your earthly pursuits. So I'm going to take you through a practice that will dip into each of those areas. So don't worry about getting into your heads right now. I'll take you through a practice that will make contact with both. So get yourselves really comfortable. And when you're ready, when you're feeling nice and safe, close your eyes. Okay, so if you haven't already, close your eyes. We're just going to take 3 slow breaths together. Just allowing your awareness to follow your breath down into your body. With each breath, allow your awareness to travel a little bit further down into your heart. Wonderful. I'd like you to visualize just an inch or so in front of you, the sovereign part of you, the king or the queen aspect of you. You might notice they look a little bit different, like you, but might wear a crown, might be dressed differently, might hold themselves differently. Just allow that image to become clear. And now just take a really small movement forward, physically forward into that sovereign part of you. So you're embodying that energy. And you might notice as you do so, you might want to sit up a bit straighter. It's a powerful energy, this. You might notice your breath gets a bit deeper. Just allow yourself to feel fully the power of your king or queen. Wonderful. And now from there, just look around in the awareness of your mind's eye for a younger part of you, an inner child, could be any age. Just notice what you see. Notice what age that little boy or girl is. Now see if you can gesture to them, call them over to you. Maybe they look up, smile. Or you can speak to them, just ask them how they're feeling. Wonderful. Now ask, what do you love to do? What do you most love to do? What makes you happiest? And you might want to give them some acknowledgement for that, some approval. They may not have had that at the time. And now you can, as a sovereign, just tell them that's perfect. It's absolutely wonderful that they love what they love. And now ask them, what parts do they feel they need to hide from others in order to be loved? Where do they feel they're not welcome? What are they told they need to do less of? They might need a real hug as they're sharing this. Just allow them to share whatever comes up. And again, I suspect you'll want to give them some reassurance. That part of them, there's nothing wrong with them, nothing to be ashamed of. It's not ugly. It's not unwanted. It's perfect. It's a gift. And now, just ask that little boy or girl what message they have for the adult you who's now ready to be your medicine. It might be they tell you something, or they might hand you a gift, or they might show you a symbol, or it might be something else entirely. Whatever it is and whatever way they want to communicate with you is perfect. Just give you a moment just to ask them for that message. Wonderful. And if there's anything you want to say to them now, you might want to thank them, hug them, tell them you love them. And I notice those little inner children, they cannot hear enough that they are loved. They're loved unconditionally, exactly as they are. Every single one I've met needs that same thing. So you tell them what you feel you need to tell them. Give them a hug and say goodbye for now. Wonderful. Okay, when you're ready, don't rush. Just allow yourself to sit as long as you need to. When you're ready, just open your eyes and rejoin us here in circle. Wonderful. Now, I would love if anyone would care to share anything that they took from that. It might be that you want to share the message that your little boy or girl gave you. It might be something you noticed that you love to do that you'd forgotten. It might be that part of you felt you needed to hide. But as you're already seeing, there's real power in us sharing these things and being witnessed in them. So if you'd like to share something that you took from that conversation. My little girl was so sad, frightened. Oh, bless her. I really hope she felt your love, Amanda. There's something so powerful in being able to express what we didn't get then. Now, it really does have power. Thank you for sharing that, Amanda. What did you notice? What was the message? I sometimes notice when I do a practice like this that if I'm handed a gift, it doesn't always make immediate sense to me. Sometimes it's something seemingly so strange and so random. Sometimes I know what it is, but I don't know why it is, and it comes to me later in the day. So if you had something similar, you know, I've been handed shells and all sorts of things. So whatever that is, you don't need to necessarily make sense of it. Just know whatever it is perfect, and it will be revealed when the time's ready. The parts to hide: oversensitive, overexcited, spontaneity, too quiet, too weird. Oh my goodness, Carolina, yes, my gosh. When Jonathan and I were talking yesterday, that theme of being told we're too sensitive just comes up over and over again with people with this kind of medicine. It's one of those kind of telltale signs that it just comes up so often. Just to be clear, if you haven't been told that, it doesn't mean you're not one of us. It might just be that you show up differently. But that it's okay to feel the world in all ways very strongly. A fern, an eye, wind. Wow, beautiful. I never fitted into the family, so different to all of them on one side that I had the most contact with. I was naughty, bad, out there. My little girl gave me a grasshopper, and I know why. Oh my gosh, Rebecca. And the grasshopper always reminds me of the Mary Oliver Summer Day. Oh, funny enough, I was only thinking about that this morning, the Summer Day poem, where she has the grasshopper eating sugar out of her hand. It's one of my favorite poems. It just reminded me of that. Thank you. She doesn't even know what she liked doing. She was lonely and isolated. She looked so longingly to me to help her find out who she is. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna start crying again. I was surprised. She was happy and sweet. I think I went far enough back before it got messy. Tears of happiness. She loves to use her imagination, told to not be so serious, think too much, be too sensitive. That I'm the good one, old for my years. Yes. Oh gosh. Our little inner boys and girls are just so wise and so amazing, so magical, gorgeous. Thank you so much for sharing, and please do feel free if you haven't shared yet. So welcome to share when you're ready. But again, I always just find so much power in this, like being able to witness each other. And again, that's why we create these circles, these webinars, these courses the way we do, because there's such power in being able to be witnessed in this way and to witness others in this way. That she was bouncy and full of energy. I also went far enough back. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Wow. Okay, so again, as I said, whatever you saw now is just that first breadcrumb. Don't feel that kind of, oh my gosh, because I didn't get that kind of full, complete understanding of my wild medicine. It doesn't exist, or I'm never going to see it. You know, just that first breadcrumb is so important. And the further you go along this path, the more you will see, I promise you. Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And you are becoming who you truly are right now in uncovering your wild medicine. We really do acknowledge you for your courage and vulnerability. Like, you are already on the path. You really are. Okay. I'm emotional and messy and lost, but I think we're back over to you, Jonathan.
Thank you. Yeah, I felt so much of you all then. I really did. So now I'd like to invite you to just take a moment to check in with your heart, with your soul. Maybe place a hand over your heart, or maybe a hand as well over your stomach, be that your womb space, be that your solar plexus, maybe where you're feeling called to come home to yourself. And yeah, see if you can get a sense for what your heart is feeling, what it is saying. Is it ready to embark on the path of waking your wild medicine? Well, if the answer that's coming back is yes, then stick around for just a little longer, as Lian is going to let you know how we can support you on that path of waking your wild medicine.
That's if I can pull myself together. I knew I was going to be emotional. I really didn't think it was going to be quite this bad. Not that it's bad. It's not bad to be emotional, but it's just not that convenient when you're trying to lead a webinar. So waking the wild medicine, as I've said, is really just us being our wild medicine. It feels, I can't even put into words. You can probably feel how much this means to us. And it's something that we really spent time thinking about how we could do in a way that was most powerful, most intimate, but also most, let's say, practical. It's not the nicest of words, but really allowing people like us to get to the point where we are actually embodying our medicine in the world. So we've created the path Awaken Our Medicine to be all of those things. It's a journey of 6 months because we know it takes time. It takes time to really journey in that deeply and then to be able to bring those gifts back out into the world. So it's a journey of 6 months, and we begin on the 24th of November. It's going to be a circle that, again, we're really keeping intentionally intimate. It's going to be an absolute maximum of 11, potentially less. It's really important to us that it's the right people that are joining us. There's spaces left, and it's for men and women, just to say this isn't a women's circle or men's circle, it's for both. And this is going to be a journey into deeply understanding the wild medicine that you are, the unique medicine that you are, that gift to the world that you came here to be. You'll discover how that medicine can be administered to the world. What does that look like for you? We don't all just have unique medicine. We all also have specific ways to give that medicine to the world. So that's the other thing you're going to understand. What does that look like for you? How do you do that? How do you express your medicine most fully? And again, lastly, and really in material terms, this means that you are embodying and expressing your medicine in a way that allows you to become available for abundance of all the connection and the impact and wealth that you need and that your soul desires. We see that's so important. What we see over and over is that people are, even if they have a sense of that medicine, they're then left floundering as to how do I make that manifest in the world that actually allows me to live this and be this. I'm not having to do something else on the side, or I'm not having to just do it as a hobby, but I can actually do this as my soul work. So that is so important for us. So that will be absolutely just, well, baked in, let's say. The investment for this journey is 3,377. And again, it really is important to us that it's the right people. So we're obviously going to spend a bit more time on this call. We're going to open to questions in a moment, but if there's anything you want to check to make sure this is right for you, do let us know. It's really important for us that you know this is in alignment for you. If you're feeling your soul call you to this journey, then you can go and have a look at primalhappiness.co/wild medicine, and it will give you all the details you need. But again, we're absolutely going to be here to answer any questions you have in a moment. And oh my goodness, I'm so looking forward to seeing some of your faces join us in that circle in November. I can just feel you are our people. You are the medicinal ones. So yeah, I really hope to see some of you join us there. I know some of you already are planning to. And again, as Jung said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And we would love and be honored to support you on that journey of becoming the wild medicine that you truly are. So we're going to open into questions, and this could be a question that you have about your own wild medicine, your journey so far, something that you want to ask, I don't know, practically speaking, about waking the wild medicine. Could be anything. So don't worry, like, oh, it needs to be, I don't know, something very specific to waking the wild medicine. Anything that, I mean, probably don't ask us whether to buy, I don't know, soy milk or almond milk. Anything that's in the realm of your wild medicine is perfect for here. And as I always said, there's no silly questions. Oh, Kate just said the link doesn't work. If so, it's probably my fault. Let me just check that. Oh, Jonathan, would you mind just checking that where I finished talking? Thank you. I haven't checked it myself. Yeah, so really, there's no silly questions. Whatever you're going to ask, chances are at least about half the rest of the people are probably thinking something similar. That's what we always find. So really don't feel that you kind of have to have this perfect question and people are going to think that it's not, or something like that. You can either just raise your hand like this, or you can use the clever kind of zoomy control thingy and raise your hand there, whichever you feel more comfortable with. So either's good, but yeah, whenever you're ready, just raise your hand either way and we'll come to you. And again, I know there is always this kind of trepidation. I don't want to be the one that asks the first question, and my question is going to be silly. Like, I really encourage you, if you've got a question, this is your opportunity. Don't come off the call and wish you'd asked something. Now's your time.
Well, while just doing that, Lian, I clicked on it and it diverts for some reason to the Waking the Wild Heart one, which is the link I just gave. So ignore that. And yeah, we have got a 404 on that link for some
How
reason.
bizarre. Gosh, we really are professional today. I don't know why that's doing that. It's been working perfectly. Oh, here you go. It's me. It's my fault, not Jonathan's, just to say, for some reason, I've put the wrong link in our document. Is that link. So huge apologies. And thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca's put that as well. So there you go. I think, Kate, do you have a question? Kate Motley, did you put your hands up? Did I see you or not? Yeah. And then I can see Amanda has. Do you want to take Kate's question, Jonathan?
Certainly.
Okay? I think you need to take her off mute as well.
Yeah. So I think that's Kate with a lowercase K. Kate, I believe you are on.
Thank you. This is a really massive, broad question, but I'm still, there is still part of me that thinks that even if I go on this, I might still not find it, and because I don't find it very easy. Will I find it?
So I'd love to ask you, first of all, I could really feel you during earlier, Kate, and when you was going through the exercise, the process, did you connect with something?
Well, I did connect with her, but she can't tell me anything. Other than the fact she's lonely and sad.
So
I know that she wanted to be joyful, but I don't know doing what. She didn't even know. I think I just don't remember a time when I was actually, I don't know, ever knew who I was, really.
No, that's fine. It makes complete sense, Kate. And sometimes, even when we go and reconnect with our younger self, sometimes it can still not feel safe to truly reveal what it is. I suspect, it didn't feel safe to you when you was younger. And we all have our own medicine. We all do. And we all come here to administer that in different ways. But I'm very blessed to know you very well, Kate. And so I firsthand get to feel your medicine, your gifts, myself. So I know they're there. But there's a process for all of us when we start to walk this path of waking the wild medicine, where we have to confront what our wounds that have been there in those formative years that created a situation where we shoved them so deep, dark, down into shadow that, they can almost seem like there's nothing there. But there is. And again, I can speak knowing you, there is a whole boatload of medicine there that you have for the world. The challenge for us is to create the environment, the container that allows that to be birthed and actualized into its most aligned, express celebration of who you are. And so it is no surprise that, for so many of us, it can be very hard to even just connect with that. The risk involved to you is that young girl was so great that, it was just shut out, completely shut out. And so coming back to it, there's no guarantees on this, but what we invite, and as we have invited you to do, is just to really connect with that part of you and feel if there's an alignment or make a commitment to being your magic, to becoming your medicine. And so much can come from that place. So yeah, what I would invite you to do is to really come back to what Lian was leading us through here. Because the more that little girl feels that she can speak her truth, that she can reveal, the more she will do so. And there is quite a really significant part of repetition here from myself. I'll speak for myself. When it comes to process work, when it comes to connecting with my little boy and parts of me, it was radio silence for many years, really, in many ways, just because of how significant that threat was to me, to be my medicine, to really be the magic, to believe it, let alone kind of connect with it. And so, yeah, I would just invite you to keep coming back to her.
Yeah.
Keep coming back to yourself. And from that sovereign place, as best you can, create that space for that dialogue to open up, for her to have the permission that she felt she never had. It's never too late, as Lian was saying. It's never too late to open up to who we are. And so, let me check in. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Is there any questions or anything from that?
No, that's helpful. And I mean, I know that, when I first started with you guys, I've made a lot of progress. So it may just be slow, but I just got to keep doing it.
Yeah. And when something that's came through then is when we are connecting with these things, a lot of the time there's no sure things, there's no certainty involved as well. And when we can come sometimes from that place of almost wanting to grasp and find this sure thing, that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes it can, make it a little bit more slippery to get hold of. So the more we can hold it lightly, and the more we can just focus on the intention, the vision of just creating that connection with your soul, with your heart, the way it wants to express itself, is how it desires to express itself, is where that medicine lies. That's the source of that. And I was just going to link in something we have going on outside of there, which I think today, if you're going to do that practice, really kind of drop into that space if you can when you do that. And I think something pretty fundamental will come through.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're incredibly welcome. Anything else around that?
No, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you, Kate. And just specifically with regards to Wake the Wild Medicine, I've been asked something really similar by several people I've been speaking to, where they're, oh my gosh, I'm really feeling this is for me, but there's this real fear that I'm going to do it 6 months, at the end of 6 months, I still won't know. And that's even worse. It's even worse having chosen into something and then done 6 months of exploration, and at the end of it still not got there. It's kind of that absolute confirmation of your worst fear. So really hear that. I've heard exactly the same thing expressed by several people. And as Jonathan was saying, Ken, this isn't certain. This does exist in the realm of mystery and magic. It doesn't exist in this realm of kind of, logic and linear ways of being and thinking that we're trained into in this world. However, what I absolutely believe with all my heart is you step foot onto this path and do the work, really do the work to travel deeply into yourself. Yes, some people will start this path and be at a different place than others. Some of you may already have a real sense of this is the medicine I am. And by the end of the 6 months, they're going to be making more impact with it. They're going to be out in the world in a kind of way that's even more expressed. Some of you aren't there yet. Some of you are just taking those first steps into understanding that medicine you are. And by the end of the 6 months, yes, you may not be at the point where you're expressing that absolutely like full expanse out in the world. But my sense of it is you absolutely will have an understanding of what it is and have at least started to embody and express it. And so I really want to say that to you, Kate. Like, it would be totally, ridiculous of me to say, like, here's a cast iron guarantee. But, I just know in my heart that for the people who this is the path for, and again, you'll know that. And I'm not just talking to you at this moment, Kate, again, because I know other people are going to have very similar thoughts of this. Like, if you know in your heart this is your path and you commit to it, it just makes no sense to me that you would get to the end of that and not know. It just can't work that way. So thanks again, Kate, and really thank you for giving us an opportunity to talk to that, because again, it really is not just you.
And I just want to just take something on the end of that, that when we do make that connection with our soul, with our medicine, there is no turning back. I've seen it time and time again. There's no turning back. Once you've opened back up, there's no papering over it or shoving it down again. It's out the bag, and it stays out the bag, and the material for our liberation of that medicine will play out as perfectly we need to be and become that medicine. But yeah, I just wanted to add that little bit, because that sometimes can feel like almost that's not enough. But when no, it's like once you get to there, it's like that's the key summit that everything else will inevitably come through.
Wonderful. But yeah, thanks again, Kate. And Amanda, am I right in thinking you had a question, honey? Lovely. Jonathan, would you take Amanda off mute, please?
I certainly will.
I think I've done it. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Yes.
all good.
Okay. Thank you. I think there's probably a couple of things in my question, but I can really, I guess, resonate with what Kate was saying massively. And then I suppose, in addition to that, it's kind of not been able to see that queen. There's no visual, there's nothing. It's kind of, I'm just looking into a blankness. And I suppose the first part is that the more you practice this, would that potentially become clearer? And I guess the second part is, I struggle to recognize, are these my own thoughts that I think I liked as a child? Because I don't really think I do know what I liked as a child. I don't think I know what, like as Kate was saying, what brought me joy and happiness, because I think it was stifled quite young. So actually, I don't know whether my thoughts are just my thoughts or whether it's actually true. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it really does. And Jonathan, did you want to talk to that, or shall I?
Sure, I'll have a little quick thing around this. The sovereign is a part of us, first of all, that isn't there in our formative years. It is something that we mature in. It's a journey of maturation. And so for most people, there's a struggle to even just connect with that, because it's not like going back and connecting with a younger part of us. It's a part of us that hasn't really had much opportunity to fully express itself. So I did just want to touch on that. And of course, yes, the more you connect with that, and there's, even though we'll guide you visually to step into that, sometimes just having that feeling of elevation, almost picturing yourself in a throne. What, like for me, is to get a level of elevation over your life, almost like looking over a mountain scenery. That is the sovereign, just the elevation itself over your queendom. We all have a queendom. Everyone has it. You know, there's the inner queendom and the outer queendom. And well, everyone who's a woman or a queen, should I say, has that. But like that is always there. It's just a case of connecting with that. But there isn't a touch point. There isn't a reference point for that. So I'd hold that lightly. That is something that the more you place yourself in that energy, in that sovereign capacity, that'll come more and more online. And the more that comes online, the more what makes up your queendom, all these disparate parts of yourself, be that your lover, your sage, your warrior, whatever those are, start to listen and connect more with your sovereign. So I just wanted to touch on that one. And Lian, if it's good with you, I'll let you take the second part of that.
Thank
But let me
you.
just check in first. Sorry, Amanda, did that make sense and was that helpful?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you very much.
Wonderful. You're welcome.
And just to say, very much as we guide you on the path of Awakening Art Medicine, archetypes like the Queen, like your own unique archetype that you're going to embody, are very, very important to that path. The power just held in archetypes on their own is incredible. And so that is absolutely contained within it because it is so important. So if that was something, like you're saying, that was a bit of a struggle for you, and I suspect others may be in the same, like, again, this is so important, having that sense of the energetic of these archetypes are important to this path, is something you're going to get more and more familiar with until the point where you can just call that in. I mean, I have rituals myself where before I do something like this, for example, I call in the archetype that's needed for that particular thing that I'm about to do. And then that, for me now, the ritual can be like that so quick, because I've spent so much time in devotion to this path and understanding how to work with these archetypes. So it's absolutely something you're going to be guided into. And then as far as the second part of your question, Amanda, and I again really hear you, that can be very really upsetting to make contact with those like inner children and feel where they are and feel again how closed down they've been through the conditioning, through the trauma, quite honest, often too. And again, the more they feel held by the sovereign, I sometimes describe the sovereign as the adult in the house. And as that adult in the house becomes present, those parts of us feel safe to start to express. But it's just so important that that sovereign is there present. Otherwise, it's very easy to kind of just get like pulled straight down into that child energy, from which, you know, it's really hard to make sovereign choices about your life. It's hard to create anything from there. So hence why we always do it that way. Always make sure that we're creating that real sense of sovereignty to be able to hold the child to a point where they feel safe enough to share whatever's going on for them, share their secrets, share their pain.
Okay.
And again, really, so we see that as so not just important, but absolutely vital to walking this path of becoming our wild medicine. Like, it is absolutely baked into it.
Okay.
But thank you. Really, really beautiful question. Thank you for
Thank you.
being willing to share that.
Thank you, both of you.
Thank you. I think we're almost out of time. Jonathan, where are we? So, check in with your intentions that you shared right at the start. Have a look. Did you create what you wanted to create? So scroll back if you can't remember. Just scroll back up in the chat and just share. If you did create what you wanted to create, just put a yes. If you created something unexpected, maybe share that. If you didn't create it, be honest, say no. All is welcome. So just share in the chat, did you create what you wanted to create? Perhaps you created something completely different to what you expected, but it was perfect. And as ever, the first person to share gets my gold star. Very coveted, that gold star. So just a short yes or no, I didn't, but it's work in progress. Thank you so much, Amanda. Again, it's really important for us that, like, it really is, like, when we say everything's welcome, it really is including the no's, including, you know, this didn't go as I wanted. So thank you. Yes, I can see differently. Reminds me of that Einstein quote, the one about, oh gosh, kind of problem solutions, that Einstein quote. You can't solve a problem from the same level of thinking. That one is one of my favorites. Not that I've just quoted it very well. Definitely saw the beginnings. Wonderful. Yes, although I still don't know what it is I do, feel more sure that something is there. Sorry, I put the pause in the wrong place then. Get in there. I'm so ready for this. Beautiful. Good to know that I'm not alone. Yeah. And again, we see that's so important. Just have that sense of belonging and like, oh yes, I'm not alone in this. I'm unique, but not alone. And I think that's so important. Yes, more understanding. Wonderful. Yeah. Something about that one. Yeah, okay. we're thinking kind of on the same wavelength there, Emma. I created an even greater appreciation for the sovereign. I experienced the softness and magic of the little girl. Wonderful. Oh no, I've got tons out today. It's been amazing. Sorry. No, absolutely no apologies. Like seriously, like to not get what you expected. To share that, I think again is really important, but it doesn't mean that again whatever else you got isn't valuable. But thank you for adding that, Amanda. Wonderful. I'm completely lost. Okay, Jonathan, would you like to say anything in completion?
I think just to honor and acknowledge and bless all of you on this call who I judge to be on this path. You know, no matter what the future holds, like this isn't easy. Sometimes it's far easier to continue to conform, to be safe, or what feels safe at least anyway. And so it just, bursts my heart open to have the privilege and the blessing to connect with other people on that path, which are taking the very challenging aligned actions at times to honor the gift, the medicine that they came here to be. And so I just want to bless you all. It's beautiful, and thank you.
I'm feeling just incredible appreciation for, again, I was just thinking, like, everything we do does require an extra level of courage and vulnerability that's not normal in this modern world. And then I was just thinking, wow, this one is like, it takes it to another level. Even being here, I think, is making a bit of a statement about who you are. Maybe you didn't know that at the start, but hey, you did. And oh my gosh, again, showing up like this together, that's so openly, so being willing to see in your oversensitivity, your weirdness, uniqueness, like that is the medicine the world needs. So thank you for being willing to join us and be with us in that way. So special. So we'll end with a reading and then we will close on today's call. This you. Hello you. No, not that you. This you. The hidden one, the quiet one, the deep one. The one who hears the vixen's keen and knows that she is kin. The one who sees the unlived lives behind the passed down masked. The one who feels the whirls in the wood and reads their ancient words. The one who tracks the scent of rage and tastes the tracks of tears. Yes, this you. Hidden, quiet, deep. The ancestors and the children, the forests and the mountains, the skies and the seas, the elements and the directions, all of them agree about you. They say, this you, hidden, quiet, deep, yes, this you is who's needed now. So gorgeous, wild and medicinal ones. That is our time over for today. If there's anything you want to ask us about anything that we talked about today, do get in touch. You can contact us in all the ways in the group, via email at support@primalhappiness.co, or reach out to us individually if we're already in contact in somewhere or other. Anything's good. And again, really hope to see, I know some of them we will definitely be seeing in November, and I hope to see some more of you there too. But thank you so much. We are so honored to be able to take you through this I don't even know what to call it, experience, journey, whatever it is. Thank you so much. So much love to all of you. Would you take everyone off mute, please, Jonathan?
With the new things I can't, but I can ask you all to unmute. So please unmute yourself if you have the power.
Oh,
think we got just about everyone on there. So yeah, thank you again. This has been beautiful. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you all very soon, hopefully.
Yeah, lots of love to all of you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.